Hey everybody, I saw this last night and I don't want to be a reactionary pundit. I don't want to jump on YouTube every time something happens and start yelling at my computer. That sounds crazy and I don't want to be that kind of broadcaster. So I wanted to sleep on it. And I'm glad I did because there's a lot that kind of can come out of something so crazy. But we'll start with this tweet, Lynn Thompson. Quote, I was curious as to why numerous news broadcasters had this clip of a woman throwing coffee on me, and no one aired it. And it's a link to an Ezra Levant tweet. Thank you, Ezra, for being there. Here it is. Can't get sound to work. I don't think there is sound. I think it's so crazy how casual she walks away. And watch, regardless of whether it's hot or cold coffee, it's all over her face, right? And her hand. Her bare skin, face, and hand. And she protected herself with her hand. And I want to show you this statistic. This is the number of corrosive fluid offenses recorded by the London Metropolitan Police, sorry about that, from 2012 to 2017. I couldn't find the 2000 statistics. I tried to go back to 2000. I couldn't find them. Shocking, I think, because they'd probably be less than 77, I would imagine. Maybe as low as 0, but I don't know for sure because I can't find them. But in 2012, there were only 77 corrosive fluid attacks. And that's where somebody throws acid or some other fluid in somebody else's face, okay? And then it increased in 2013, and then 2014 there was a slight decrease, but not back down to 2012 levels. And the last one was 2017, fully recorded, and it's crazy, 465. So is that a 400% increase? Very nearly a 400% increase. So that's crazy. And this story, having somebody throw hot coffee or cold coffee, that's clearly assault. That is not okay. There were multiple reporters there. There are other pictures that I saw of police standing by and did nothing. This woman should be arrested. Now, all of that said, I'm glad I slept on it because, oh, that's not the one. Here's the update for that. Quote, update, the Vancouver PD is asking for witnesses to come forward who saw the woman wearing a hijab throwing coffee on the Chinese reporter and protester outside of the courthouse. Email them at the email address, and there'll be a link in the tweet in my description, as with everything I talk about. So if you know anything, or if you saw anything, or if you have any kind of information, please get in touch. The police are asking for it. So that's good. I'm glad they're taking it seriously. This kind of stuff does not belong in Canada. This is unbelievable. And if you do this, man, you should be arrested and put in jail for a very, very, very long time. One other quick story that I thought was crazy was our Prime Minister. This is, quote, this is a tweet from Steeper33. Quote, this was 3 days after a Syrian refugee was charged with first-degree murder of a Burnaby teen, Marissa Shen. She was 13 years old, and she was killed during a sexual assault. And this is what Justin Trudeau had to say.
But why is there suddenly so much worry about people coming here? And quite frankly, one of the things we see is the kind of extremism and terror in the world that is the source of these people fleeing is of concern. But let's make no mistake, people coming here are fleeing terrorism, not bringing terrorism. Why is there suddenly so much worry about people?
This is the worst video system ever. So the people coming here fleeing terrorism, not bringing terrorism. Sir, if you are a parent who cares about your child and somebody murdered your 13-year-old daughter during a sexual assault, and that person was not a Canadian citizen, but was led into the country because of some politician's timeline, unvetted, I think that's the definition of terrorism, sir. That man brought terrorism with him to Canada, and he exposed it to that family. That Canadian child is dead because of your timeline, sir. You have blood on your hands. This is how you choose to address Marissa Shen's murder? This is how you try and shame us? Here's a meme that I saw. And I'm a meme farmer, guys. I like the memes, and I think the memes tell a story. I think the memes are a better bellwether, an indicator of what the electorate is thinking than any pundit, including myself, can predict. So here's a meme. It says CTV, CBC, and Global, and it's got a picture of Justin Trudeau on the left-hand side with all the logos for those television stations on the right. And it says manipulation. Media referred to Syrian refugee charged with murder as, quote, new Canadian, but he isn't a citizen. The media establishment keeps trying to blur the lines and manipulate the Canadian people so as to limit the danger to Trudeau's reputation and his agenda of filling up Canada with dangerous, unscreened refugees. Fact. Quote, the murder of 13-year-old Marissa Shen by 28-year-old Syrian refugee Ibrahim Ali happened in the course of sexual assault. The media stories that choose to take away from Marissa Shen's horrific death by talking about how we need to love all refugees should disgust all Canadians. Yes, Global, CTV, CBC, defund the CBC. It should be gone. It's a blight on Canada. And the other two, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely, hang your heads in shame. Sick, ridiculous coverage. Actually start reporting what's happening and the facts instead of trying to manipulate Canadians. We see what you're doing, and we're done with it. MaximeBernier.com, peoplespartyofcanada.ca. Let's save Canada, guys. Thanks for watching.